If you like the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this.
People who got cheated by your partner, how did you find it? Monday morning I thought I was happily married. Had no idea she was unhappy. She came home from her late shift RN job. I was on my way out to my job. She was super quiet and distant when she got home. Not like her at all. Before I could ask, she just said, "We need to talk." I said okay and sat down. "Let's get whatever this is over with." She clammed up, "I meant when you get home. I'm tired." I insisted we do this now. Leaving things like this is similar to pulling the pin on a grenade. Just let it blow up now instead of me having to wait 8 hours. She wouldn't budge, so I went to work. Was an anxious mess. Had to prep for a big award show and make sure all the venue wiring infrastructure was good to go. Could barely focus. At 4 I said fuck it and called her. She was quiet. As a joke I said, "It's not like we aren't going to be married after this talk." She said, "I don't know." I then had to ask her, "Are you seeing someone?" She said yes. For a month and a half, an emotional and sexual relationship. I later learned that she had been unhappy with a lot of minor things and some major ones, but felt ashamed of the major ones and just bottled it up until she couldn't take it anymore. Met this bastard and he just is everything for her. That Thursday, she was on a plane to San Francisco to be with him and I'm stuck here to pick up the pieces. Couldn't take time off, it was a big show. Had to work through all of it. Not sure how I did it. That was last week. It's still fresh in my mind. We had been together for 11 years, married for 9. Our friends thought of our marriage as the goal. I thought we had great communication. I was so wrong. She never told me. She hid it all so well. If she had told me the marriage was on the brink of collapse, I would have done whatever it took to change. She never gave me the chance. She made up her mind before even speaking with me. We were together 4.5 years. Moved in together, planned a future, etc. She was depressed throughout for other reasons, decided she'd try talking to randoms online and I encouraged it because she had no real friends. December 2019 that was, then lockdown hit. Avoiding me and wanting time in her own, brought it up and she said she wasn't sure how she was feeling anymore, blindsided me. Went to stay at my dad's place for 2 weeks. He was living with a friend through lockdown to support each other so his place was empty, to give us space to think, miss each other, came back and we broke up. Lived together 4 days and I kicked her out, she couldn't afford it on her own. Everything in my name, because I couldn't get over it while she was still there 24/7. After she left with her shit I went to thank one of her new online friends for being there for us and he'd changed his profile picture to a picture of them together. Background looked familiar and I realized it was taken in my kitchen, with Snapchat's date filter showing it was the day before I came home. Really fucked me up for a week, couldn't eat or think straight. Because we were in lockdown I sat in my own mind for 2 weeks or so and decided to work on myself at the end of the 2 weeks. Got over it quite quickly TBH and started flirting with the girl in the flat above me. We've now been together 2.5 years, moved across the country and lived together. Best thing that ever happened to me. I was never the sort of person who secretly checks my girlfriend's phone and I'm still not, but now I have the itch to and it bothers me. She was showing me something on her phone and a text appeared and I of course saw it. Now I'm flushed with paranoia with other girls I date. We broke up of course, and it probably makes me a bad boyfriend today. Anyone out there, please don't cheat. It ruins the other person's mind. I mean, if I was a millionaire and she wanted to bang another guy so that's why she stayed with me, I could actually understand that. I'm not a millionaire. I'm just a regular guy. Why waste my time if you don't want to be with me? Am I that amazing of a human being that you want to be around me so much and you love me so much that you gotta go out and bang someone else but still keep up this facade? Just break up with me. It'll hurt and I'll get over it. But when there's this secret covert stuff going on with messages and all that, it's just weird. Maybe there is a part of people that like the romanticism of the affair and it makes them feel more adult or like they're in a movie or something. You're not in a movie. These are real people you're interacting with. I'm the techie one and she didn't drive, medical condition. We had Find My Phone set up so we could see each other's locations. I wanted to be able to see where she was if she got lost on the bus route. I didn't want to spy on her, and she usually told me where she'd be, or I took her as she didn't drive. I had no issue with her being able to see my location as I wasn't going anywhere she didn't know about. There was an OS update that goofed the tracking on her phone. I verified this was the case, not it being disabled. I could track it via the web browser, but it wouldn't communicate with my phone's app. One day she forgot her phone at home when we left to take her to work. She asked me to find it and bring it with me when I picked her up. I said, sure, also can I fix the tracking thing? She said, yes. I had no original intent to go snooping. Not my thing. I'm big on honesty and trust. While I was trying to fix the tracking, a guy friend of hers whom I had met and hung out with texted her, "Does Bahamut44 know?" I wasn't snooping, I was actively using her phone to fix the issue and the pop-down showed up. You can't not see that. Well, now my curiosity was spiked and yes, I went and looked to see what it was he was referring to. I ended up going down a rabbit hole of messages between them of how bad they wanted each other, things they had done, wanted to do, etc. He was from out of town but had visited a month or two prior, and in addition to the sexting, there was enough to highly suggest they were physical when he was in town. However, this wasn't the thing he was asking if I knew. Turns out that a week or two prior to this, she had gone out with her work friends I knew of the hangout and they offered her some cocaine. She accepted, and then told this guy. He was asking her if she had told me. I even found other texts between her and another guy she knew from HS who was in town the day prior, and it was highly suggestive that they met at his hotel room for sex as well. So, I found out she had cheated, was still cheating on me, and had done coke with her work friends. I thought about leaving her at work to fend for herself, but she probably would have gotten her stepdad to get her and I didn't want to put it on him. I picked her up from work, took her home, and told her what I'd found in front of her parents, we lived with them at the time. Stated that I'm leaving, and packed what I could in the car and went to a friend's. This was on Tuesday. Saturday was my next day off, and happened to be her birthday. I went by the house to hear her out. She tried to deny it and say I was reading too much into it, etc. Told her no, don't believe you, even if I did you broke my trust and my heart. Stated I want a divorce, and packed up more of my things. Her parents, and her sister are on my side. Her sister even helped me move my stuff out, provided a truck to move it, too. Later on I found out that when her best friend found out, she laid into her hard. I got the parents, sister, and best friend in the divorce. I'm still in contact with them today, her ex-friend and I hang out quite a bit even. And before anyone says anything, no, we have not hooked up. She's married and I wouldn't do that, especially after what happened to me. This all happened at the end of September. Come November my ex took 30 days off from work to go see yet another guy friend from HS. Flew out on what would have been our 8th wedding anniversary and spent Thanksgiving, as well as Christmas with him before coming back. The weekend she came back, she texted me about getting serious about the divorce, as I had been putting it off. Not 'cause I was having second thoughts, but it was an unfamiliar process for me. I had no idea how to start and it caused a lot of stress and anxiety. Turns out she had gotten engaged to guy number 3 while she was out for holiday. Luckily we didn't have kids, or any big assets. Even so, I hired a company to help. Not an attorney, just a company that helps with big paperwork things. The divorce was super clean, and easy to do. Cost $500 and she split it with me. 2.5 years later and it was the best thing I could have done. It wasn't working anyway. I was unhappy for a good 3-ish years beforehand. This coming Saturday would have been our 11th anniversary. She had just got back from vacation with family and we were on our way to our own vacation across the state and this bitch sitting in my passenger deleting entire text threads. On iPhone it's very distinct, like how you flock the thread to the side, hit a big red trash can, but get a whole screen that asks if you're sure you wanna delete. I saw her delete like 3 to 4 of them and I just said, "Ayo, what did you just delete?" And she looked at me like somewhat shocked, then kind of chuckled, then said "oh god" and started to cry. I hit a U-turn so damn hard and aggressively it was honestly stupid, but I was emotional so well. She was crying, saying that it was her telling her cousin how she thought her and I weren't gonna work out, but I knew that was bullshit. BC she was like all normal 2 to 3 minutes before I saw her deleting it. I just ignored her and dropped her off. Anyway, after cooling off for a few days I gave her a chance to explain her shit and she confessed to having swapped nudes with her cousin. Her father's sister's son, first cousin. Stupidly I forgave it, but we broke up 3 months later and a mutual friend told me I had done a good thing. BC my ex confided in her, the mutual friend, that she had fucked a guy while she was in California. She neglected to mention to our mutual friend that the guy was her first cousin who I had caught her deleting the texts with. First GF, she didn't physically cheat yet, but told me her and our mutual friend had been talking about their feelings for each other for months and broke up with me immediately when they decided to pursue a relationship together. They're married now with kids and have a good life. Honestly happy for them. The guy is a great man. He was so sick with grief about hurting me that he tried to stay friends and console me, but that was kinda awkward. Ex-wife. She became physically abusive out of nowhere, started drinking to blackout state and beating me regularly. I wanted her to get help. I was stumbling into alcoholism myself just to cope, but all she wanted was for me to fight back. She would wail on me after a bottle of whiskey until she was tired and then start crying that I was a pussy and not a real man, that I couldn't defend myself. One night she said she was into BDSM, that she wanted to explore her fantasies and the reason she was acting crazy lately because she felt sexually frustrated with a vanilla sex life. It was a trap. She asked for things that would leave marks. The morning after she told all of her friends and family that I was abusing her and sent pictures of her bruises to them, including my friends and my family. After separating we were still on the same phone plan. I went to pay a bill and noticed she had hours on the phone and hundreds of texts with an unknown number since around the time she started acting that way. Looked up the phone number, it was her coworker. Explains all the, "We'll be home a little late, at happy hour with my folks at work. Not a great time in my life." She told me. We were together for almost 5 years at the time. She was abroad and admitted to it right after it happened, but then she blamed it on me in all kinds of ways, trying to justify what she did. I figured since she was honest, I was willing to work it out and asked her to stop drinking for the rest of the trip because she can't control her alcohol, which was a component but not an excuse. She got mad at me for asking her to do that one thing for me to show me she was serious about wanting to make it better, said she had to have fun and drink while she was there. Fast forward a couple months, I pick her up at the dock. We were talking about it and I asked her to be honest and tell me if anything else happened. She said, well there was one time I made out with underscore, but we were really drunk and I wasn't even really conscious. The first time really fucked me up, but I was happy she was honest. The second time she hid it from me and it fucked me up more. I tried to work it out with her and that was a really difficult year or so. Didn't work out in the end for a number of reasons. Honestly thought I was going to marry her before all that happened. And then after I wanted to see if we could get back to a good place. And we did, honestly, but it was never the same. I needed more time to heal before making the commitments that she was asking for, which felt hypocritical. She was like, I need to know if you're serious about us, and in my head it was like, which one of us has actually been committed the entire time? Anyway. That fucked me up a lot. It's been a little over a year since we split for good. I don't hate her, and hope that she treats people better in the future and learn from her mistakes. While I wouldn't try to work it out with someone in this situation again, I'm glad I did try to work it out. Not sure if that makes sense, but whatever. Biggest takeaway is that cheating is probably the absolute worst thing you can do in a relationship or to another person. Nothing will ever be the same in the relationship, but probably also for the person that got cheated on. Haven't dated too much since. My confidence kind of took a big hit and very scared of being hurt again. I don't think I have a paranoia or mistrust in general, but definitely just have a feeling of, well, if it can happen when our relationship was otherwise great, then I guess it can just happen no matter what. So, a bit jaded. Definitely will probably be a lot more cautious with getting invested in someone in the future. Not sure what to say about it. It's pretty fucked lol. It's a weird feeling being betrayed by the person you thought you'd spend your life with. Oh well. I do hope that eventually I can find someone good for me that makes me believe that people can really make it again.